Tonight I'm out for a camp in the Peak District with this guy, who you might recognise. He's as London as they come. Is he going to survive being this far up north? We've both got new tents to try out tonight, but first we need to head up Jacob's Ladder and get up onto the Kinder Plateau. That's the fun bit. And Ben needs to finish his sandwich. Have you ever had a crisp sandwich?
A few years back.
When you're at school. We've just stopped for a quick break. Just coming up to the bottom of Jacob's Ladder. I haven't filmed much, but Ben's been doing loads of cinematic B-roll. Check his video out if that's your thing. There's been loads of people about as well. I think the weather's brought people out. Well, we made it up to the top. Didn't do much filming coming up Jacob's Ladder because I hate the thing. I'm just not fit anymore. Not that I was that fit in the first place, but you know. We're just going to head over to Grindslow Knoll, I think, and see if there's anywhere suitable around there for us to pitch tonight. Got a beer to crack open before we set up. Right, we think we've finally found a spot that's not fully sheltered, is it, from the wind, but a little bit. There's the odd gust coming through. We've still got a few views down into the bottom of the valley. That's the Great Ridge along there. Just having a beer and then we'll get set up. It'll drop later as soon as that sun goes down.
Cool, yeah.
Ben's just starting to get his stuff set up. I'm just trying to muster up the motivation to do mine. Might just sleep on this rock. Oh, right, I won't. This wind's picking up, so I'm going to have to put the guys out and everything tonight. I'm in the TFS Stars 2 from Camper Lists. I've only set it up in the garden so far to check it all over and make sure all the bits are there and everything. So this is my first time out camping in it. As usual, I've swapped my pegs out. These really help when you're in sort of grassy environment like this. The grass here is really deep, so I use these long, I think they're 9-inch or 10-inch big sky stakes to really get down into that grass. I've got the version of the tent that comes with the DAC poles. You can get one with their own brand TFS poles that's I think 30 quid cheaper, but they've sent me this one with the DAC poles and they're 200 grams lighter than their own brand ones. It's an all-in-one pitch tent as well, so the inner is already secured to the outer. You can attach the footprint to the tent permanently as well, but I've removed that just to save a bit of weight. I'm battling with getting this up, so all I've done so far is peg all the corners in. Now I'll get the poles in as quickly as I can and peg these other points. So there's a peg for the doors on each side, and then there's a pegging point halfway down each side, and then obviously I'll get the guy lines out as well. Kinder's already killed me in one tent. I don't want it to do another one. All right, so that's the tent up, I think, as best as I can with what I've got. All the pegs are in, the guy lines are out. I did look at whether I could reinforce this bit here with my trekking poles, but my trekking poles aren't long enough to reach the floor from there, so that could be a potential spot of weakness. But the rest of the tent feels pretty solid. Got all the vents open, so there's 4 vents on this tent, 1 on each side and 1 above each door. Ooh, as he falls over the guy line. I'm going to get the rest of my stuff in and then I'll show you around. We'll have a nosy at Ben's setup as well when he's finished doing his stuff. Are you winning?
Yeah, getting there. Now I can get the pegs in. It's really stony over there, so repitch.
He was pretending he couldn't get his pegs in over there, but actually he just wanted to be really close to me and pitch right next to me, so
protection.
Yeah, I think he's a bit scared being this far up north on his own. I've got the Decathlon 4-class sleeping mat. I think it's the one that's 5.2R or something. They've changed the name now at Decathlon. All the 4-class stuff is now using the name Simond or Simond, but you can still find them on the website. It's a bit of a funny shape because it's almost half rectangle, so the middle bit's all a rectangle, then it's only right at the ends where your feet are and at the top where your head is that it tapers in very, very slightly. So it's not a mummy shaped mat, but it's kind of a hybrid between the two, I think. I've just turned it around because I realised this end's higher up than the other end, so I'll obviously want my head higher up. And then I've got the Flames Creed quilt to go on there, the Sea to Summit pillow, and that's my sleep system, as they call it. I don't know why it's called a system. I forgot to mention as well, I have bought my Sea to Summit sleeping bag liner. just in case it gets cold overnight. I think it's forecast to drop to 4 degrees or something. And then in there I've got my down jacket and my merino layers in case I need them later. Rucksack, the Exos 38's over in the corner. And then my stove and water and food and everything's down there in the porch. Let's go and see how Ben's getting on. How are you getting on, Captain Cloud Peak?
Well, I've sort of pitched it the best I can. I've just got to try and get the hood on.
Seems flappy on this side for some reason. Bereat.
Yeah.
So one of the things to think about is the Cloud Peak is 130 quid, I think. The TFS tent is 300 quid. So is this tent worth twice as much as that one? I mean, really it all comes down to materials and quality, I guess. But from a design point of view, the Cloud Peak is a stronger design because it's got 3 separate poles that go all the way to the floor. Whereas on this TFS, you've got 2 poles that go corner to corner and then this shorter pole that goes across the top. This is a 15D sil nylon with the DAC pole option. As I said, you've got Dyneema guy lines on there as well. For the Cloud Peak, I think this is 20D, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got 20D sil nylon, their own brand poles. Yeah, it's just different. A lot of it comes down to personal preference as well, and obviously what budget you've got. The big test for me is going to be overnight, how flappy this becomes and whether I actually get any sleep. Just going to sit here and chill and wait for that sun to go down. Oh, he's such a geek. I forgot to tell you, with the sleep mat, I've got the Light Tour, the 7.5R version, and then this Decathlon mat, and I keep alternating between the two, trying to decide which one's more comfortable because they're similar prices, pretty much the same weight. So I had the Light Tour on the last camp, Decathlon on this camp, and at some point I'll decide which one's best. Such a poser. It's still bringing this little collapsible bowl as well from AliExpress. Just says CLS outdoor on it. Got a little tag on it there. But later when I get my power bank out and stuff and put my phone on charge, it's nice having something like that. And it's good if you're a specky 4-eyes as well, if there's nowhere else to put your glasses. Sometimes just hang them off door zips or a spare hook maybe at the top of the tent. On this tent as well, you've got the zips here. So I don't know if you'll see through the material, but if you need to get out to that vent to shut it or open it, you can do it without leaving the tent. You've got twin doors as well. So there's a solid option where you can unzip that to give you a mesh door. It should be pretty flexible for use at different times of year in different conditions. Let's go and have a nosy at Ben's setup. The Ben's in the Cloud Peak 2 from Naturehike. We're both sponsored by Camperlists on this one, I think. Oh, look how neat and tidy he's got it in here. What's this bag, Ben? Do you know?
Up kit, Pipe Dream 400.
Pipe Dream 400. And then the Xped Ultra. Is it a 3R? Yours? 3R. All his shizzle in the corner, more shizzle in the porch. Standard. Starting to drop cooler now. The sun's almost gone down. I'm gonna have to engage hat mode soon. I'll probably get my down jacket out as well. So I think that's us hunkered down for the night. We'll see how it goes and I'll catch you in the morning. Morning. Got some serious hat hair going on this morning. Last night was horrendous. The wind forecast said it was going to get up to only 14 mile an hour, but it felt a lot stronger than that. I think obviously because we're up here, it's skimming along the top and just hitting us all night. Managed to sleep a little bit on and off. I feel fine. So now I'll be knackered later. So let's talk about sleep mats and tents. For the sleep mat, I think I'm pretty much decided on the Light Tour as the winner. just because of that shape. The Decathlon one comes in at the foot end, only a little bit, but I still found myself with my feet slipping off that during the night last night. It's also got some different valves on it. There's a separate in and out valve, and the out valve's got like a, don't know what you call it, like a rubber flap on it, so you have to force all the air out. Whereas the light toy, you can just open the valve and leave it to sort of deflate itself. The only advantage of the Decathlon is it's a lot quieter than the light toy mat. For the tent, it's obviously only my first night in it, but there's a couple of things that I'd change. Let me show you. This inner is far too close to the outer, and it's just been touching all night. Especially at this bottom bit, that shadow that you can see there is a guy out point, and you'll see you've got quite a big gap at the top, but then it gets thinner where you've only got probably 2-3 centimeters of gap. I have played around with all these corners and guy lines to make sure that it's pitched as tightly and as open as it could be, but it's still a tiny gap there, which just isn't enough on a windy night like we had last night. I did have quite a bit of condensation this morning, or a lot of condensation this morning, kind of to be expected in this environment. But the main thing for me is that price. It's £289 with those DAC poles. And in all honesty, I don't think it's worth double what the Cloud Peak 2 is. If you've got that kind of budget and you're in the market for a tent, then it's probably worth looking at. Ben's just reminded me as well as all that wind noise last night, it sounded like somebody was having a rave up here at 2 o'clock in the morning. I tried to get some of it on camera, but you might not hear it properly. It was like one of those massive boombox things. I couldn't tell where it was coming from because obviously the wind was whipping it in all directions, but can we not have raves in the middle of nowhere at 2 o'clock in the morning? Proper YouTuber here, look in his natural habitat. Bless him. Aside from the moaning though, it was good to see a few people out camping last night. So we're here on Grindslow Knoll. There's another tent quite a distance away down there. I don't know if you'll see it on camera. And then there was 3 or 4 tents right on the top of the knoll up there. But they're all long gone now. You just can't cope being up north. Look. You ain't used to these harsh environments. I was just saying to Ben, after sleepless nights like that, you ask yourself why you do it. But no matter what, I always still wake up refreshed, positive, and still enjoy it for some weird reason. It's weird, isn't it? Well, that's woke us up, coming up there, isn't it? Ben, what's your first impression of Kinder Scout?
Windy. Very windy.
There you go. Usual detailed review from Ben's Hikes and Camps. We're just going to head down the opposite side of here now and get back towards Edale, hopefully without just falling and rolling down the hill. So we've just made it down from Grindslow Knoll, just heading into Edale now. Thanks for joining us on this one, and if you like hikes and you like camps, why not check out Ben's Hikes and Camps channel. I'll see you next time.